Do it that way.
Cool.
There we go. So, all right. So we got cut off there a few minutes ago, but that's cool. You were just about to. I was actually asking you what got you into to the thought of saying, "Hey, I'm going to play Ed Sheeran and music for my career." And I believe you were telling me it all had to do with the hair. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to get you to tell me a bit about that. Like, take me back to when you kind of realized, or was it someone who said, like a friend or someone who said, you know what, Jack, you'd be really great, as an Ed Sheeran, act. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just in my old job, and like the radio one would be on at work, and you'd be singing along and stuff, and I'd just get called Ed Sheeran because of the hair.
Right.
And then the thought that I could play guitar and sing was I could do that anyway, And what really, really changed it was every year I've always bought myself a guitar as a kind of me to me thing. Every year you buy a guitar. When I was younger, when I could afford to play guitar.
Right, of course.
And this one particular year, I bought the same guitar as Ed Sheeran played, which was a sort of smaller shape.
I know
guitar.
what you mean. It has the X on it, or the.
It was the same guitar, but without the X on it. It was like the early model, before.
Okay. Yeah.
I picked it up in the shop, and I just really liked it. And then with that, obviously, the impersonator thing came from it, and the intention was, I can go and play a wedding and get a 50 quid here or £50 there, and make a bit of money. And it went from sort of there to there really quickly. It was a strange part of my life, very strange part.
Okay, and so that's awesome. So what were you doing? How long ago was that?
Oh, about 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. So you've been touring and playing and being Ed Sheeran for the last 6 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the first couple of years it was kind of like playing in really, like you have to go and learn your craft and play in social clubs and backstreet pubs and everything. And like this year to now, there's the big festivals and really cool music venues and stuff that Ed Sheeran played in 2011, 2012. So it's been a really weird circle.
Very interesting. So you're playing bigger places than you were when you first started.
Yeah, 100%.
And I've seen some of your footage online, and it's really remarkable how the transformation and how the vocal and the movements and everything else come out there. And so, I mean, did you have to work hard at doing stuff like that, or does this come natural to you?
Not so much anymore, because I think once you've learned to do it for so long, you kind of embellish it there with it. But for me, I find tricky is remembering what I sound like and being like, oh, I don't sound like that. Ed Sheeran sounds like that. Or I don't play a guitar like that. Ed Sheeran plays a guitar like that. Like, I'm into country music. I like country music and other stuff. So it's a weird thing, but it just gets ingrained in you. And I think I'm lucky enough to play music, whether it's my music or Ed Sheeran's music or whatever. I'm lucky to do that for a job, and I think that's what you need to remember.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So prior to the Ed Sheeran Experience, which is your band name, prior to that, what were you doing? Like what was Jack doing prior to going into this?
I was into logistics. I was a logistics manager, puzzle solving and stuff. It was kind of the thing. I was just thrown into it from sort of college, so it paid well. So you just go along with it.
Right. And now you're doing Ed Sheeran Experience full time now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the minute we're on lockdown, so everyone's on lockdown, so that's kind of stopped. But it's really strange because it's kind of made you remember what's important. I know it sounds stupid, but being at home with I have children and stuff, and it's being at home with them and not worrying about work makes you realise what was important in the first place.
Right.
So weird, right?
It is very strange. And actually, so do your children have red hair?
No.
You don't. Does your wife?
No.
So
she's got, no, yeah. But we just had a little girl 7 months ago, and
Okay.
when she was born, like, both of us, what we want more than anything is a ginger child. You know, that is the goal. We're not going to keep going until it happens, but
Yeah.
that was the goal. And when she was born, the first thing the midwife said was, "You've got yourself a redhead," and because it was under the light and it was red, and at the minute she's sort of done that baby thing where she's lost her hair, and now it's starting to come back, and she's got ginger eyelashes, and she's got the temper, the pale skin, and we're like, come on, there's time. She's gonna. So, but with that comes the temper, and you kind of get the temper and go, oh no, I'm not sure I do want that. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I have three little redheads at home myself, and a fourth redhead, who's well in his well, he's 20 now. So, and they're all red. I don't have red hair, nor does my wife. So it's really interesting how, we carry this MC1R gene that has enabled us to be lucky, in which, again, I've said this so many times in other videos and other conversations, our kids are the driving force behind this company and the inspiration that makes us want to grow with them, with their hair color, and present a positive, inspirational childhood for them, so that as they grow up, they may see or hear some challenges with their hair color, but otherwise, it's not so bad over in Canada. It's actually quite good. So, I mean, as you...
It's changed here as well, though, because I remember growing up and there was a real stigma around it.
Right.
Not a stigma, but I remember being in school and it being the one target, the one thing that stood out. Whereas now, I feel it's the opposite. It's the one thing that is kind of, I'm really, like, that's my identity. That's me.
Right.
So it's strange. It's strange. Like, we had this lockdown. I said to my partner about, I'm going to shave, because everyone's shaving their hair off for this 3-month lockdown. So it's like, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to have 3 months of no ginger fluffiness. And she's like, no, you can't do that. That's your hair, and it's my favourite bit about you. So it's nice.
Yeah. Exactly. and like I say, as the thing that I struggle with, and I wonder, before I ask this question, how about going back to that? Do you think Ed Sheeran has been solely one of the only people that has changed the manner in which other people see redheads since he came onto the scene?
Possibly. I think it's that kind of thing, though, of every redhead now. If he's not like a buzz cut, it gets compared to Ed Sheeran. Before that, it was Ron Weasley. Now it's Ed Sheeran. It's like,
right.
I'm sure in the 90s it was Mick Up, and I'm sure that's probably how things were. But it's definitely a good thing. I think.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, here's a true story. I went to see Ed Sheeran in Wembley 2 years ago, and I went like this. So I went with just a t-shirt and hair, and I've got like a couple of tattoos and stuff. And a woman behind me in a queue had a go with her friend, saying, "Oh, this guy. Why would you come to an Ed Sheeran concert dressed as Ed Sheeran?" It's like, well, I haven't, So I think there's, that's a true story.
That's great. Did you actually turn around and say, "Well, I actually perform as Ed Sheeran on a regular basis"?
Or no, I didn't, because I was just there to enjoy it, and I have. Around the Ed Sheeran thing, I don't. You know how some people play on, especially like impersonating. Some people really play on it. So there was a guy over here who looked like David Beckham, and he went to the States, and they saw how far they could take it. I'm not really interested in any of that. I like playing music. I like playing in front of people. But as soon as that's done, it's like I want to be myself and just,
sure.
I don't not into false pretenses and stuff.
Right.
And there's definitely a point to the story. So when I went to Wembley, I remember going to buy a hat, a non-branded, non-Ed Sheeran thing. I was like, I need a hat that's gonna just make me look normal and not related to Ed Sheeran in any way. And I still got that comment made, and it kind of made me think that day it's definitely just the ginger thing. It's nothing to do with anything else. So
right. So it's the ginger hair that's people, and you're right, because it happens around here. There's not too many people that I come across when I'm talking about this business and where we are and what we're doing and why, that someone doesn't say, Ed Sheeran be a perfect ambassador for you guys. you know, and they're actually right. And, you know, I have a goal to meet Ed Sheeran and to share this story with him at some point. When that happens, I don't know when, you know, but you know, I've been in touch with his manager a couple of times, and at the
Yeah.
right point, yeah, when we're ready to put something forth, we're going to do it, you know, and it's not going to be about our t-shirts. It's, you know, I've said this again
More
many
to it, yeah.
times. It's not about our t-shirts. It's about our message. And our message is be authentic, be ginger, be proud. We want that to be the leading driving force behind what it is that we do. T-shirts become secondary. So having an opportunity to chat with somebody like you, just meeting you for the first time no more than 3 or 4 weeks ago, and having a conversation face to face for the first time ever is like, you know, to me, this means more to me than selling a t-shirt. Although I do see one on you, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I've managed to get it back with my partner. Like she's
Oh,
kind
good.
of brought it and claimed dibs. I'm like, you know, we have it's very weird. I have a bit of a funny fit, and like a lot of things either feel too tight or too loose, and this is kind of just in the middle. So it's one
So
of my favourites. That's not just because I'm on, you know, on the video quality of it. It's weird.
that's
But
great.
yeah, I agree though, totally. I think it's something to be proud of. Essentially, it's good to be different. I think that's changed more now than ever. I think it's more accepted now. Like being ginger is a very, in a world where everyone's either vegan or, you know, multi-sex or whatever. Being ginger is just very normal now, and I think that's cool. So we can embrace it a bit more.
Okay, so here's another question then for you. When it comes down to the word ginger or redhead, which is your preference?
Do you know what I prefer Italian bourbon. I think that's
Okay, very good.
no, I don't know. I think redhead maybe. I got the ginger ninja thing growing up,
Sure, of course.
which is quite weird. But I remember my mum references this to me all the time. My first day of like little school, I come out of school and said to my mum, like, oh, my teacher said I had orange juice hair, mummy, and I don't have orange juice hair. And I think like, oh,
Wow.
yeah, that's kind of the cool way. But then I remember being in secondary school, which would be high school. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not sure, but and my teacher picking me out and calling me that ginger haired boy, and that was a moment that I didn't like that at all, and it's weird.
Yeah, because she
Strange.
instantly segregated you as someone who's not,
Yeah,
you know, like somebody
it was
else.
a little bit derogatory to me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I always make light of it, and you know, someone goes, "Oh, you're ginger, aren't you?" And that's what I said. Like, I prefer Italian bourbon or African sunset.
Yeah.
Let's jazz it up a bit, you know, be creative.
Right. Have fun with it. You know, have fun with it. It's not going to change. I mean, the color could change if you decide to color it and, you know, be
No,
somebody
I
else.
went to school. I went to school with someone who had ginger hair, and she dyed it black, and
How
then
did
it
that
come
go?
back ginger, and it just looked really strange. So
Yeah, that's right. Now,
yeah,
okay, tell me this. What is a ginger ninja? What is a ginger ninja? I've seen this word around here. I mean, I have no idea what it's
yeah.
supposed to mean. Like,
Um,
do you know? You know, if you
I
don't, that's
don't know.
great. But
I don't know if there's any ginger ninjas
yeah, it's kind of
at all.
strange to me.
I think I have this theory that the whole ginger thing links back to Ireland, and I know that's really strange. It sounds bizarre, but like with the job, I've been to Ireland quite a bit, and every time I've been there, there's this acceptance, and you sort of go, "I'm not Irish, but I feel like I'm at home here," and it's really weird. And I think that's any ginger redheaded people go there, and
Yeah,
you'll see exactly what I mean. It's weird.
yeah, that's interesting. And you know, it's one of the things I have come across is that the word ginger in Ireland is not readily used at all. It's in like as to introduce somebody or to talk to somebody and say, oh hey, oh you're a ginger. You know, it doesn't happen, I guess, in Ireland, and they use the term redhead. In fact, when I was calling upon Ireland to do some work there, and I was
Yeah.
going to bring our brand. I was working with our Canadian ambassador there, or embassy there, sorry. They told me that I might want to be careful on how I put the word ginger out there because it's it's known here as the root vegetable, ginger. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes, of
yeah,
course, I know that, but why, And I had to ask why, and she said it's a derogatory term around here. So she said you might want to change your messaging before you decide to come over to Ireland, and or at least have a really strong message attached to your logo, so that people don't think that it's a derogatory
yeah.
day. Wow, I got to change my whole model here to get over to Ireland. So I found that was
I
really
like it though. I mean, for me, that's why I like the t-shirt stuff on Instagram. Though it wasn't a case of the t-shirt. I see loads of clothes I like and everything else, but it was focusing on that was kind of different. You go, oh, that's kind of cool. And it wasn't like in a horrible way. It wasn't like a I don't know if I'm allowed to swear or whatever, but it wasn't like a piss taking or a mockery t-shirt. It wasn't like, oh, I'm with the ginge, or do you know what I mean? It was
yes,
that's kind of cool.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you picked that out, because one of the things we strive for from the very start back in 2018 was to not put a brand out there that is gimmicky. It's
Yeah.
not. We didn't put it out there for people to make fun of. We put it out there to start creating this community of redheads that is not just talking about the word ginger, but we're in the midst of trying to find a statement that connects gingers globally. And if we're a part of that statement, whatever that is and whatever that's going to be, where somebody can look at you and see, maybe it's not the logo on your shirt, maybe there's something else on your shirt that we come up with as a company that identifies redheads around the world. And it's like almost like a club, like, hey,
Yeah.
that guy's part of the club, like, this is really cool. How do I get in touch with him, and how do we communicate with each other, and how do we just expand this network? Those are the kind of the things that we're trying to innovate on, to be able to spread this message, and again provide this platform of inspiration for young and old alike. If people are having problems, or if they're having issues with being bullied or whatnot, we want to be the first voice that people go to and draw from. And I often make it a point to say that I don't come across as a company that wants to find the bad in people. I want to find out what the good is. So when I say, what's your life like growing up as a redhead, I mean, you've had some fun, and you've turned it around. You've created a career, more or less from your hair, which doesn't take away from the fact that you're a great musician and you're a good looking guy and all these things. But your hair is one of these pieces, a statement of you that's put you in a position to have a really cool job.
Strange, isn't it? I've always said that. The thing that I got bullied for, wound up. I wasn't really bullied, but I said comments in the stuff. I mean, the way I've always looked at this, right, is that you wouldn't make a racial comment to someone about color.
Bingo.
You didn't do it about hair, and that was my be all end all. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
People don't see it like that, but that's how I see it.
That's exactly right. And I completely agree, and I also think that that the redhead culture, because it is a culture. There's no doubt in my mind that redhead culture is a real culture. To me, it's the last known minority group in the world. That hasn't had exposure that it deserves. So when you look at educating people on, either what it is like, or what it could have been like growing up with red hair, with a different hair color, people, once they understand the culture, they go, wow, I never knew that existed. I don't think about that. And that's kind of what we hope to start correcting, right, through our journey. And it's not going to be us that does it. It's going to be us and people like you and the 275 other million redheads in the world, to find ourselves and say, hey, this is who we are, and we want to make a statement. We want to do something about this, and so that's what we're all about. So and I'm glad you really see it this way, because it's as you said, it's weird, isn't it? Like
I think it is. I know loads of people as well who haven't had children, or even women that have said, I want to dye my hair your color, I want my kid to have your hair color, or whatever. So I think it's a weird 20-year turnaround, but maybe the music's helped. We've got Prince Harry, everything else, but it's a good time. It's a good
Right.
time for us.
Conor McGregor's out there on the other side of the coin. You know, there's a you got baseball
Yeah.
players, you got people from all over different aspects of industries that have influence. And you know, again, if we can work together and get in touch with those folks and you know, present what it is that we want to present to them, hopefully the one or two of them might say, hey, you know, this is a great idea and a great cause and a great movement. Let's get on board. So, you know, again, another piece that we're striving for that that'll take, it's going to take a village to help us get there. That's for sure. So tell me this.
I like it.
Yeah. So music wise, okay. So where's the farthest place you've gone to play a gig?
South America.
South America. Amazing. And
for one day.
Oh my gosh. So fly in, fly out, that's it. You're done.
2 days, sorry, 2 days. Paraguay,
2 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And lots of good experience there, I'm sure.
Mm. The trip was sponsored by Budweiser, so it was quite cool.
Oh gosh, you guys must have had a great time. Hey, it's dinner time.
Did you see this pizza?
This is fantastic. Look, you're getting people brought to this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Hello.
Hello.
So this is my ginger lover partner. She went to school with Ed Sheeran. It's a funny story.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good, thank you. And you?
She went to school with Ed Sheeran.
I did.
And
I used to sit next to him in maths.
Awesome. Fantastic.
And she doesn't like him.
Doesn't like
Work
him.
out.
Not really, no.
But you love your partner's hair, so that's all that matters.
So we're hoping that, I said, our daughter has the red. She has the gene. Certainly has the gene.
Yeah.
I will send you a picture by all means, and you can put it to your people to vote what you think. Because you know that thing when you see it in a light and you go, she's Gin.
Yeah.
I call her Gin. How bad is that? I didn't like it, but I call it. She's like mine. So
it doesn't matter. It's yours.
No, I don't know. I think it's a good time. Good time to be different. I think.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, I'm sorry. What was your name again, partner?
It's Georgia.
Georgia. Have you gone to many shows?
Have I gone to many of his shows? Yeah, a few. Yeah. I've been his technician as well.
Oh, fantastic. Good
Once or
stuff.
twice.
So you like replace strings and do these kind of things and have some fun with that?
You can do the sound and the light and that kind of thing as well. So yeah, it's all good fun.
I dragged her across. So a normal technician couldn't make it, and last year I dragged her across to Germany for one gig.
One day.
And she was heavily pregnant. And,
I was about 36 weeks pregnant with our daughter.
We drove over there. We had a car crash. We had a car crash, made the gig, stayed in the hostel, drove home. It was a bit weird. So
made like this weird murdery hostel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So then, do you travel with a full band, or do you pick up players on your way?
So it's just me. So we do the Ed Sheeran thing. So there's a loop station.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi. I'll get out of the way.
Just the dog as well. We have like a loop station, and so everything is the same as Ed Sheeran. So it's like doubled up and made live. Yep. And but the problem is there's so much kit. It normally requires like 2 technicians and backline people. So like we have this running joke of it's a one-man show, but it takes 4 people to do it. It's weird.
So you still have to take 4 people on the road with you.
Yeah, do you know what though? My aspects change. I used to, so 6 years, the first couple of years was fun, and then after that I not went off the rails a bit, but I started to get really complacent, and there's alcohol there, and you're doing it all the time. You don't need to practice. You don't need to this. And then I had a sort of reality check and done the opposite. So now after every gig, I'll come home, and the less I'm abroad, I'll come home and not. This was strange. It's strange. The past year of my life, I've become a family man.
Yeah.
Which is
and now even more with the isolation. So I mean, it's
I love it. I've spent my day building obstacle courses for my children, which
Are you building any Lego houses? Just kidding.
I could build Duplo houses. I have I'm this person who I have a cool job, and everyone who knows me thinks it's a really cool job. But behind the scenes, I'm the most boring, normal, down to earth person ever.
Yeah.
which like I enjoy taking the dog for a walk. That is my highlight of the day. That's the truth to be told.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's great that you can do that and separate, because there could be times where you just take it to the point of you're in character all the time, and then you lose sight of your identity in your own life and what it is that you do. So it's amazing you can break that apart.
Well, I've done that with playing guitar and singing, because that used to be my dream, and then I've done this for a job, and 2-3 years in, it was my job. So when I used to come home from work before I'd done it, I'd pick up my guitar as soon as I got in. Whereas when this job took over, I used to get home from work, put my guitar away and not touch it until next time.
Right.
And now I'm sort of in a happy medium where I might have a couple of evenings of, so my partner has a really serious job. She's always working at home, and I'll sit there playing one night and the next night I won't. So it's just about balance. I think everything's about balance. And,
So tell me, how many shows do you roughly do a year when it's a year of no interruption?
Probably 100 to 150.
Yeah.
100 to 150. I've done the upper side of 150 2 years ago, and it was just too much because I'm not like a worldwide superstar. The tours aren't planned to be like one country to another country to another country, like in route order. So it's always a case of like stupid traveling. You travel from one side of the country to another to the other and I'm trying to avoid that. I've had my time of chasing it and going just for the money and trying to do as much as possible. Whereas now it's like, I can do this many a month and be fine. So I do this many, then anything else that comes in, I'll do it because I want to do it.
Yeah,
and I think that I'm just getting old and boring, I think.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry I can't give you like sex, drugs, rock and roll stories.
No. This is fantastic, because the next question is, when are you coming to Canada, and where have you?
So I was supposed to come to Canada a few years ago, but something fell through and we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I haven't really approached the subject since.
Yeah. What about the US?
It might happen. It might happen. We've got some big things coming up in this country. Like probably the biggest thing I could do, because obviously there's a limit to what I can do. I'm never going to play Wembley Stadium or the big stadiums. So there's a limit to it, and I think with what I've been booked for is that limit, but we can't announce it yet, which kind of sucks. But
you're not even here on this small little TV channel.
No, I'm gutted, but I'm definitely going to just tag you in everything. Like wear this shirt constantly on stage and order some more and stuff, because I endorse, which is true. I endorse the Ed Sheeran brand that he wears, Hoax clothing, which is a local clothing. It's where he's from. It's where I met my partner. It's where she's from. It's just it's like this little van driving around delivering t-shirts, and he endorses it on a major scale. And from that, I mean, I wear it, and I'd happily choose some different stuff to wear in front of the people. So yeah,
sure. Cool. That's fantastic. I'm glad to do that. And then if that's the case, we're going to have to get you more than just one.
Honestly, I'm happy to chat about stuff and sort something out. But I really like it. So
that's great.
It'd be nice to come over at some point, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Are you guys on lockdown over there as well?
Where to?
We're in
lockdown. We're in Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada.
But is everything locked down?
Oh yes, everything's locked down. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I started this series was, trying to think of different innovations to pivot the company while we're in this, and it made me feel really great to think that I can talk to people face to face that I normally would try to make a phone call or go after in the email or something like that, and it's turned out to be more personal than I ever could have imagined, and more valuable to myself and to the rest of the community as far as the redhead community that we're developing. It's been great, and the response has been very well as well. So it's just sometimes you just have to change in a time like this, and this is one of the ways that we're looking at changing. So I hope to keep going with it, because I think it's very valuable for people to come on and go through the videos, and if they have a chance to pick something up from someone like yourself that inspires them, then that's the biggest piece. That's what makes the most difference for me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the funny things, I'll leave with this funny story, because it's a funny story, kind of funny.
Okay.
So there's this singer in England. He's come to Canada. You might know him, but his name's Newton Faulkner. Ginger guy, dreadlocks. He's had like some #1 hits and stuff. And he was my like idol when I was growing up. You know, when I started playing at 14, he was my idol.
Yep.
I went to see him live. Long flowing redhead dreadlocks, like the sexiest thing you've ever seen. And he played acoustic guitar, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have these ginger dreadlocks and acoustic guitar. And throughout my childhood, my mum shaved my hair constantly because we couldn't afford haircuts, so she just shaved. And I got to about 13, and I rebelled, you know, and I was like, I'm going to grow my hair, and I grew it down to about here.
Yeah.
And I was ready to get the dreadlocks, and by the time I tried to do it, I cut it all off, and then end up with this Ed Sheeran thing. It's weird how stuff works out, isn't it?
Yeah, it very much is. Well, listen, I'm extremely excited that we had a chance to chat here on Zoom video, I guess is what I've been calling it, and the series here keeps on going. And you know, again, as you can see, I'm in my kid's bedroom because that's the only place that I can get solace while I'm doing these videos. So it just goes to show you can do this stuff anywhere, you know, and still get a ton of value out of it. And I think what you've provided for any of the viewers today, man, is like, you know, there's some super inspiration here, you know, that's, you know, and just, as you said, life just works in funny ways. And, you know, we're just adding to that particular comment right now by, you know, finishing up a half an hour conversation of two people who've never met or never conversed, really.
No.
It's really weird, but it's been fun, man. I super enjoy it. So if there's anything else you want to say, let me know. If, you know, I think we should talk. I think we should have a chat about some stuff, maybe collaborations or something like that. But I'd be all up for that, and hopefully find a way to get you guys over here to Canada. And you know, I think that would be a hit over here for sure. So thanks for your time, Jack. And if you've got do you have anything else to say for anyone who's watching that might, you know, what can you say to people?
All I will say is it's cool to be different, and I think you need to remember. I say that I copy someone for a living, but it's cool to be different. It's cool to stand out.
Yeah.
And people that look at you funny because they're jealous of you, and that's what you need to remember. Perfect.
And where can people find you online? What's the best place for you to be found?
Probably at the moment Instagram, just Ed Sheeran Experience or Ed Sheeran lookalike on Instagram, and it will come up.
Perfect.
And or just search Ed Sheeran Experience, and you'll see this ginger dude, redheaded dude.
Perfect. Awesome. And I'll put that down
in the
description as well.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, you take care. And we'll be talking soon.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye now.
See you later.